Thank you for joining me. Today is Wednesday night, and you already know this is Divine Encounters, where we're bringing illuminated conversations, bringing mysticism, magic, dreaming, and logic all to the forefront, recognizing that you are not alone in this world and we are here to support you. So, together, let's encounter more. Stay tuned for the episode. It's gonna be amazing! Or your money back, something like that.
It's paradise inside of our hearts, and it feels so nice to pray in the dark. Beings of light, see who you are. 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 See who you are.
Hey, welcome everybody. Super excited to be here. As always, we're live streaming every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Sunday, we do all of your horoscopes for the week, and every Wednesday night, we bring you a new phenomenal guest with a divine story to support you on your path. And today is no different. So if you want to stay tuned for that and be the recipient of all the many wonderful nuggets of wisdom, make sure you like and subscribe. That way you're reminded because you don't want to miss a moment of this divinity happening here in the world. And so today we have a beautiful guest and wonderful close friend of mine. So happy that he's back. You guys have seen him on here before. Make sure you guys give it up for Igor. And Igor, thank you so much for being here. So let's bring you on, mi amigo. Let's do it. And you know what? My everything is lagging, and this only happens when Igor is here. So blame it on them.
Hello, hello.
Wepa.
How are you?
And I know you have full bars and you're lagging, so we already know what kind of show this is going to be.
Well, I'm like seeing some stuff going on, but yeah,
Hola.
yesterday was actually a very powerful day.
What are you seeing? No. We already opened it. You already know we opened the channel. What are you seeing?
Just the energy's coming through. You're just putting me on the spot. What are you seeing? There's a lot of stuff happening, but um, there is some messages that are coming through.
I got to put you on the spot. Curious
lot of
minds want to know. The audience wants to know. We can't have two powerhouse of people here and then say, "Oh, I see something, but I'm not
They
sharing."
want a little bit of information on what's coming through energetically. Energetically, we have a lot of emotional energies that are coming up, and these emotional energies have to do with the belief systems, and has to do with worthiness. They are triggering our solar plex, and this energy that's coming through right now is really bringing all of that up to the surface. It's like, how do you value yourself? Do you think you're worthy of abundance, of relationships, of friends, family, internal beliefs? All of those things are coming up to the surface so deeply. I had the meditation yesterday, and it was really powerful. Everybody was purging. So much stuff was coming out as far as self-worth. Oh, that's much better.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Wait,
it
you
was
felt
a
it?
yeah, the screens when you shift it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You just got like a little
Zip zip in and out.
that's great. So I like how we're just jumping in hot here. But before we get into anything, Igor, please introduce yourself to the audience out there.
All right, my name is Igor Galvov. You can see it down there. You can always find me on my website, Instagram, or Facebook, or TikTok. Lots of information and channeling information is always posted there. So I'm intuitive, a guide, heart-centered, and alchemist of love. And that's the most important part, is to share this wisdom with you guys here.
Alchemist of love. That's so beautiful. And you know what's interesting is that you radiate that.
Say that again.
For those of you at home, that you radiate, that you actually radiate that. Like
Oh,
you're so soft.
thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, so Igor, you know I like to start off with a angel number. I wish my computer would do what my computer is supposed to do, but it's being like a muggle computer right now. Okay, so we're gonna do the angel number for the day, and if it feels like being pulled up, all right, we got it. We got the angel number. Let's do it. So to that, I'll say, "What's good?" Angel number today is brought to you by the number 662. Okay, so let's see what the combination of this number means. And then, Igor, you'll give me some feedback about this number when I complete this. So, angel number 662 is a combination of the vibe of the six appearing twice, amplifying its influences, and the attributes of the number two. Number six relates to love of home and family and domesticity, providing for the self and others, gratitude, idealism, grace and dignity, simplicity, service to others, and selflessness, responsibility and reliability, finding solutions to overcome obstacles. And then we have the fantastic number two, who has been my friend for the last few weeks, which brings us energies of balance and harmony, duality and diplomacy, devotion, duty and service, adaptability and cooperation, diplomacy and mediation, sensitivity, faith, trust, and serving your soul mission. So, number 662 asks you to have faith and trust that your material needs will be provided for yourself and your loved one as you put ideas about your life purpose into practice. Listen to the guidance from your angels in regards to the next steps you have to take, knowing that you are heading in the right direction. Your insights and intuitive promptings are urging you forward along the soul path and purpose, and give any fears or trepidations that you may have to the angels for healing and transmutation. You may have the angels for healing and transmutation and trust that all your needs on both the material and spiritual planes are being met, and they will manifest exactly when you need. Angel number 662 can also suggest that a significant new acquisition or purchase will be entering your life shortly, and this is something that you have worked hard towards. It is specifically meant to enhance your life. The work and effort you have put towards serving your life purpose has been acknowledged by the angels and the universal energies, and you will be rewarded for work well done. Be open to receiving and accepting your good, and know that you are being assisted and guided by your angels. Your thoughts have the power to create and promote healing in love in the world. When you send out positive energies and love, you attract those same qualities right back to yourself. That is our number for today, Igor. How are you feeling about it?
Feels great. And what does number 5 mean?
Change,
Change. All right,
drastic
I love it,
change.
because 662, add them all together, it comes out to be 5. So change.
Oh, that does make sense. Because
Yeah,
four is the stability, and then five is like you're adding an additional. So it's just like getting off kilter and recalibrating.
beautiful. Love these
Okay,
messages
then
that you put out there. So in synchronicity.
always, always
Oh,
synchronous. So before we jump into your story, Igor, we're going to be jumping into shifting our energy because here at Divine Encounters, we are a big proponent of making sure that you're checking in on yourself every single day. This discipline allows you to really recognize what your needs are. So we stop a lot of those people pleasing habits. We stop living for others' validations and we start to working on ourselves. And make sure that you know that this show is not a passive viewing experience, but one where your energy is shifting. So for that, have your high quality H2O. Please don't kill me that it's in a plastic bottle. And we're going to be jumping into the mindfulness moment. So Igor and everyone at home, it's time to check in. Where are you at energetically in this moment from 1 to 10? 1 being this is the least amount of energy I can have. 10, the most amount of energy I can have. And drop that in the comment section below now. Where are you at, Igor?
About 6 or 7.
6 or 7. Is there a feeling word that comes with that 6 or 7?
Is there a what?
Is there a feeling word?
A feeling word. Feeling word, busy. It was very busy today. It was like, did not have the time for myself as much besides my morning practice. So it was like, like in a wheel, doing, creating, managing. And it's like, okay, I need to tune in with myself. And when you just said that, I was like, I'm looking at around a 6 or a 7, probably. Definitely do this. Yeah.
Perfect timing. For me, I'm at like a 9. Honestly, I'm probably going to hit like a 12 by the time we're here. I don't know if y'all feel it, but I'm just like,
great.
That's how I'm
That's
feeling.
what it's all about. Always being a 10 above.
This physical form may not be a 10, but the spiritual one, oh, honey, she is bougie.
Hey, that's how you feel, then that's how the physical form will be.
That's right. All right. For you guys at home, where are you at? Saturn is at an 8. Thank you for checking in, Saturn. And we're going to go ahead into this mindfulness moment. So if you haven't tuned in before, what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in for 60 seconds collectively. So close your eyes, center yourself, listen to the bell, and let's go. Big breath in, 60 seconds now on the clock. Just notice where you're feeling any tension in the body. Just gently breathe into that. Deep breaths into the body. And as you exhale, you're letting go of what no longer serves you. No story, no attachment, just an observation. Breathing in once more. Really feeling that solar plexus, that diaphragmatic breath. Nice, deep, and gentle. Letting it go. And just for a moment, bring something to mind that brings gratitude. Breathe into that worth, that abundance, that gratitude, and let it go. One final breath in. Let it out. Coming back to center and gently opening your eyes. Coming back to that here and now. Namaste.
Can we do another 60 seconds?
I know, right? It was so like a pink.
Yeah.
So gentle.
Just what needed.
Oh, good. I hope everybody at home has the warm and fuzzies now. And that motorcycle was perfect timing that it didn't just turn up like 2 seconds ago. Whatever motorcycle that is outside. Oh, that's great. Okay, so here we are. Igor, you're about to jump into your story. I would love to talk about all the new things that you have just went through because you've kind of been on a little, I'm not going to say little, that's an understatement. You have been on a pilgrimage. And I know everybody wants to know what your experience was, what your takeaway was. So let's jump into that right after this commercial break, I guess. Yeah, let's do it. All right, we are here on Divine Encounters with Igor, who's going to be sharing his supernatural story time with the collective, and we are so excited to hear all about it. So, Igor, where did you go exactly?
All right, so I actually were at a dark room. I went to Guatemala, spent some time in the dark room, and I spent 5 days in a dark room where you are completely in darkness. There is no lights coming in at all for 5 days. So you might be questioning, well, how do you eat? You eat in the darkness, you take a shower in the darkness. And what really happens and why do we go into the darkness? The dark room allows you to go through a deeper transformation. And when I say deeper transformation, you will go through the pain and suffering that you had since the time of your in the mother's womb. So things will start coming up backwards in time. And why does that happen? Is because in the darkness, in order for so the darkness is basically the lights start to activate inside the head. When I say the lights activate inside the head, I'm talking about the pineal gland activates. So if any of you heard of ayahuasca or DMT or acid, any of those drugs, this is a natural way to get to that level of expansion of consciousness that will stay there for the next 5 to 6 months afterwards even. So what really happens in the body? The endocrine system activates. But in order for the pineal to activate, the endocrine system needs to activate completely and fully. So that means your Kundalini energy needs to rise, the earth energy, right? And what really happens is because there's no lights coming into your eyes, the pineal gland activates itself and it starts to create these crystalline lights. As these crystalline lights activate, in order for them to fully activate, all the trauma in your emotional body, in your mental body start to come up to the surface, and you kind of have to learn how to surrender. This is a really deep work, and if anybody's ever interested in something like that, this I suggest that you first learn how to have a strong discipline within yourself. Because I know people that meditated for 10 and 15 years, and on day 3, they ran out of there because it was so much emotion coming up to the surface. It's you have to really learn how to become the observer, observe yourself, and not get involved with a mental game that's going to start happening in the darkness. And it's very
Mm.
in that process because you are going to be there by yourself. No one's there. And you're going to be arguing with yourself and laughing with yourself. And you're going to keep going with yourself. And the whole thing is to find that balance to be neither one and find neutrality within your heart space. So discipline
Observe, not absorb.
exactly. Because let's say those negative thoughts start coming up and you start arguing with them.
Mhm.
That's going to start piling up until you're going to have so much pressure. And I had that. It was very powerful. And for me, this has been my 4th dark room. And this time I went all the way to my mother's womb.
Wow.
I was in my
Oh,
mother's womb.
you're gonna have to explain that. You're gonna have to explain what that even means because that just blew my mind.
So I had a betrayal aspect, and I would wanted to know where is this coming from? Why am I behaving this way, a certain ways, or why people are happening to me? So I wasn't even going for that. I just was going to be completely released from these patterns, right? Just whatever the universe has to offer. As I was there, I started to see when I was 3 months old inside my mother, and my mother had an issue with her father. And that issue that she had, she felt betrayed by the masculine in her family. And that issue ended up in her left hip. As it happened in her left hip, because we as children coming in a clean slate, we have our hologram is empty, it's clean. And because it's empty and clean, we start to pick up certain patterns. So it was like, okay, I took this pattern of my mother and adapted it into my left side of my body. And when I did that, did you just see that screen freeze on me again?
Yeah, it
When
did.
I did
For a
that, this is what happens when I start going deep into these stories. So when I tapped into it, my grandfather that passed away came up right away.
Oh,
And I
wow.
talked to him and I started to kind of explain to him, okay, it's time to let go of these patterns, whatever happened between you and mom. My mom came up. As I healed those aspects within them too, it was such a release and an opening within my hips that it took a shift, a DNA shift into my lineage and going forwards as well. As soon as I did that, my daughter, my oldest daughter, comes up energetically and like tunes into this and just feels so much gratitude for releasing this because we're doing the work, releasing our ancestors from the past, as well as we're releasing our children from the future. So this is a really powerful time. And for me to experience that, that was so deep, so needed. And because I'm in the spiritual path and been working in this path, I've been always working with women. And in the spiritual community, there's a lot of women, not a lot of men, and been doing this for about over 19 years now, since 2004, and always work with women. And in the dark room, once I released that side, the left side, it was like, you need to work with men. I need to start
Mm.
the divine masculine. And as that came through, it was like, I need to go away to a men's retreat, like really embody that masculine energy. Because we as men don't speak about our problems. Women, it's so much easier. Women can get together, they'll complain about it, they'll share to one another, they'll talk about it, they'll get it out of their chest. Men don't do this because we were taught to be
No.
tough. We're taught to be strong, not to express our emotions, but we have problems too. We have mother problems, relationship problems, money problems, work problems, and we don't express this. We have confident problems. Am I strong enough? Am I big enough? Am I
Mhm.
macho enough? I'm not going to show this. And we got to break through all this and find a balance within ourselves where we can understand that we can be soft and gentle, but yet strong and firm and be expressive without being afraid. Because how many times men are afraid to express themselves in a relationship and they hold themselves back because they know that the partner is going to react a certain way. So what they do, we hold back, we don't do it, we don't express it because we feel bad for the female, but yet we are hurting ourselves.
Yes.
We're not fully being the divine masculine who says, hey, this is what I feel, and not being afraid of being manipulated emotionally. Women energetically are much stronger than men are. And women have a stronger emotional body than men do. So what happens is that when a woman comes into a relationship with a man, she can very easily manipulate uh, his energy fields because he gives in. But a strong male will not do that. He will stand firm, tall, strong, yet with an open heart, he will express of what he really wants to explain or represent in the life. He's also a divine masculine where he can protect, but yet he is in balance within himself. And when that masculine is balanced within himself, the divine feminine balance also will come into that counterpart, and they'll experience that together instead of being a codependent on one another. So it's like the codependency is, oh, you do an event and I will be there to support you. That's like, okay, I'm there to support you, but doesn't mean that you can dump everything on me emotionally. No, I'm there to hold the space from my heart, and you are to do the same. So we co-create instead of saying you start and I will kind of carry on, or you start and then I'll carry on. No, no, no. It's together, walking side by side, understanding one another, feeling one another, because through feeling we can unite. Through feeling we can understand one another, but not to be afraid to express. Why? Because we're taught this from childhood. Masculine does not do this because he needs to be strong. Grab an axe in your hand, go hunt, get a bow and arrow, bring that meat in, and that's it. And
Come
it's
here,
like,
woman.
exactly right. And there's a reason why it all happens that way. There's a divine reason, because if you take a look, the female holds the space in the house. When a male enters, he feels her love there. So he feels comfort there. If she does not feel comfortable, he will not find comfort in that house, because she has the dominant energy of emotion. She has that creative aspect. So we
Right.
need to go back in history. A male would go hunt, bring a piece of meat inside the house, and the female would make a beautiful meal out of it.
She
He would
multiplies it.
bring in and she would create. So those two need to
Hmm.
learn how to operate, right? You can have two cooks in the kitchen, because the soup is going to be horrible. You can
It'll be
have
salty.
one cook, right? So there's a reason why the female has a role, a male has a role, and it's very important to keep these roles. I understand the society these days are trying to deviate that and break away the divine masculine, because if there's no divine masculine, the divine feminine is very easily manipulated. So they need
Yes.
to have both. Otherwise, the female becomes like a male and the male becomes like a female. And what do we see
I
right
have a
now,
question.
right? We have distortion. But on the soul level, we're neither. But we have to come in and allow those two to dance together. You
Mm-hmm.
understand?
Mm-hmm.
For the co-creation. Yes, there are those that choose to come together and dance. Okay, so you can have a male and a male and a female and a female, which is completely
Sure.
fine. But you cannot have the distortion of ego in it. Do you understand that well, I'm like this and this is who I am. I'm like this, says the ego.
Yes.
So it's a very
So
thin line there.
how can the men, the most predominant gender watching Divine Encounters is women, but there are definitely men here. Shout out to the men. I love you. What examples can you give, or what skill set, or what steps are there that men can take to be in their divine masculine, and how can they recognize how to be within the divine masculine presence within themselves?
Okay. So one thing is not to be afraid to express yourself. That is self-judgments that we have as men. We judge ourselves, oh, how do I look like this? We have to go through our patterns. So this is a process. It doesn't happen overnight. And because of this, I just came out of the dark room and I was like, need to do a men's retreat. So I'm actually going to be holding a men's retreat here in Pennsylvania. If any men that are interested, feel free to contact me. It's going to be July 6th, about 3 or 4 days. And these 4 days, we will go through different breath work, understanding the masculine energy, having circles where you can sit and talk about and express your feelings in a safe container. We will be doing different exercises that activate the masculine energy within and create a balance there. We will be working with the divine masculine and feminine balance within the mind, within the centers, and the channel of abundance, because a male is a builder. Everything is built by males, right? Homes, bricks, everything's put together. He's a builder. The divine feminine is the creative aspect. She brings in the creativity, and the masculine performs it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she doesn't need the strength. The male needs the strength. She has the creative idea. She holds that space of creativity, and the masculine performs it. So during the 4-day retreat, we'll be going through depth those practices, how to activate the sexual energy and channel it up in order to understand how to create with that energy, because that is the key energy for a male. And when we start talking about male, female, right? Everybody's an adult here. Females have an orgasm, it's internal. A male has an orgasm, it's external. So what he does, he releases, and he needs to learn how to cultivate that energy within the body, within the mind, so that orgasmic experience becomes on a soul level, and it allows us to co-create a much more powerful way. When you understand that whole process, you are now creating that energy within the body. You're allowing the balance between the mind, the heart. So now you are more able to express yourself without any judgments about yourself. You're able to come up to a situation and a circumstance and find a solution for it in a deep flow without interference of negative beliefs that we have adapted from our family, from our mothers, our fathers, because every single one of them suffered. And we're one of the first
Yeah.
generations that gets to experience this and break away from these chains of suffering
Mm.
that been lashed onto us of thousands and thousands of years. I mean, just think about it. 12 generations back. 12 generations back. That doesn't sound a lot. But if you go back 12 generations, that is over 6,000 lives. Those 6,000 lives of DNA are inside of you. And those 6,000 lives had their own suffering, their own emotional problems,
Yeah.
their own mental problems, their own food disorders, all kinds of illnesses, bone problems, financial problems, relationship problems, and you name it. And all of those are programmed in the DNA that you are experiencing here. That's only 12 generations of 6,000 different people having problems. So we are at
Mm.
a beautiful, powerful time where we get to dismantle this DNA and present a brand new higher frequency of DNA that could be effortlessly flown through this reality and pass this over as to freedom to our children. So
Wow, that
very
is
proud.
that is so powerful. And I want to kind of like circle back a little bit. We talked about abundance and sexual energy. Is there a way that we can
Mm.
expand on this a little bit? Because I see a lot of things in the media about male sexual energy, how the feminine receives it, pornography. And I just want you to just touch base a little bit about the dangers of these things, the abuse of the dopamine that we're using as we focus so much on this particular physical experience, and maybe just talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so pornography a lot it keeps us dormant. We want to raise above that. So sexuality is a sacred practice. We should not be walking around and having sex with anyone we choose to because the personality wants to. It's a very powerful tool. This sexual energy is an energy of creation. When a man and a woman come together, and what happens? They can create life. They create a child, right?
Yes.
So you create some sort of an entity. With that same energy, you can create some sort of a, let's say, a business between a man and a woman because they are coming together. They're giving birth to an idea. It doesn't always have to be a
Mm.
child. It could be anything in this world that you want to create. That also requires the same type of energy. So when the big bang happens, when a man and woman come together, you create a big bang. That energy is the energy of creation itself. When lovemaking happens through the soul level and the energy expands, you're opening up portals, dimensions to other beings because they can feel the love so strongly that is pouring out of you. They want to experience that and they come to assist you in whatever you want to create in this world. So it's very important to understand how this physical body works. This body, one thing we need to understand, is not your body. This is the body of your soul that is having the experience. But if you constantly using this pleasure of sex for a few seconds just to have that orgasm, you're wasting your energy. You're wasting your energy into
Yeah.
thin air. So what happens to a male when he releases? Turns around and goes to bed. He's tired.
He's tired. He's
What happens to
depleted.
a
Yeah.
woman?
He's
She
good.
starts to
Unplugged.
glow. She starts to glow with a woman, right? So a male
Mhm.
has to learn how to release at his will, not because it's time or because he wants to have that orgasm. You will learn how to have an orgasm that will last you for 5 to 10 minutes instead of just few seconds, because that release for a few seconds is actually depleting you. It's actually make you age faster, more emotional, mentally disbalanced. Your mind is not as sharp, so everything starts to become disordered. This is why the priests understand not to have sex. But they don't explain why they keep that in the religious purposes, because they know that this energy is a very powerful energy of the creation itself. Why do men and women love
Sure.
orgasm so much? It's the closest feeling they get to God. The orgasm
That's
itself is
probably
so
why they
great.
say, "Oh my God."
Exactly. But can you imagine if you can continuously have that feeling for the next 5 to 10 minutes if not more. Now you're actually, what are you doing? You're not
Sure.
releasing it, you're building it up. You can build it up to a point where you'll have electricity going from one person to another. So the masculine, the feminine, the positive, the negative charge start to work together to create something greater in this world instead of just becoming that selfish 5 second experience. It becomes very
So,
explorative. It's a whole, there's a whole process in that. And actually, I'm going to be teaching that in the men's retreat because I feel like men are ready to experience this. This will give them their understanding of their alignment, of their true power, because this is how I create my work. This is how I create my businesses. I have over 600 employees. It's not because I want to know. I created that because I value my energy and I choose where to spend it and how I'm going to spend it. That's very
very
important to understand how
nice.
to channel that energy.
Can we talk a little bit about I don't want to use the word attachments, but let's say a spiritual sexual infection and
Yeah.
how yeah, let's touch base on that
Okay.
a little bit. I know you can speak on
So
this.
attachments, as you would say, entities, right? Everything has some sort of an exchange. And when you watch pornography, you are actually masturbating and you're watching, let's say, porn. Whoever you're seeing, you are sleeping and tapping into their DNA. You're tapping into their energy fields. In those energy fields, those beings decided to make an agreement with astral beings. These astral beings will exchange that pleasure for your prana. What is prana? Prana is your life force, and that life force is needed for you to create. So if you're constantly giving it away, you have no force to create. The
Right.
force needs to stay within you so you can direct it, right? Because we have three centers, one at the belly, one at the heart, one at the mind. These three centers are the vital centers. The one at the belly is connected to your sexual organs. Your ovaries, your testicles for males are connected to our kidneys, which store our fire. Fire means is the fire that burns within you, that gives you life force. If you feel tired around 2 or 3 o'clock during the day, check your energy fields because that shows that you have a leakage in your second center. That means you're losing energy and you're becoming tired. We should never get
Mm,
tired. Our energy should be constantly rejuvenated and flown with love, with passion, and for creativity. So once we understand that, second center is like charges us. This center sends energy. The heart
mhm.
sends energy. So we connect to the heart and we send it. We say, okay, I choose to send love to you because I love you, I respect you, I honor you, right? This part directs the energy. So if you understand how to direct energy towards source, then you're constantly directing energy in a loop towards source that gave creation to life. But if you constantly direct energy towards anger, frustration, arguments, you will feel depleted. So
Sure.
your astral body needs that energy in order for you to go through a divine transformation. When I say divine transformation, you'll start to awaken. And when you awaken, now you need to start to going through mental patterns and emotions. You need the life force in order to sustain that within yourself so you can project that energy out into the world. But if you're constantly spending that energy, you don't have the strength to do it. Now you become tired and exhausted. Now, because you're tired and exhausted, you don't have the strength to go through the transformation of your emotional and mental body. And the astral beings that you're connected to will constantly feed on your energy so you don't get to complete your transformation. So sometimes people say, but I did this healing and it came back
Mm,
because it could be mental
mm,
patterns, emotional attachments, astral body attachments. They are one of the big ones. The astral body is the one that we go into our dream state. How many people wake up in the morning feeling tired? That's because they've been doing lots of work in the astral plane and
right.
they probably have some entities that are attached there. And by expanding our awareness into our consciousness, we'll be able to transmute and let go of these entities because why is it that pornography is so shown everywhere? Is because they know this is how they can keep you down, to manipulate you, to control you and guide you for where they want to. But if you don't do that and you become free and you know how to use your energy, you don't need anything or anyone. So now you became free and a free spirit, a free soul that has no attachments of any sort. And that's where the true power comes in. And that's when you start to understand, oh, okay, I want to co-create with source itself.
Mm,
That's going to be
I
my partner.
understand.
Yeah.
That's
And
going
then
to be
there's a
my
next
partner.
level where you will actually become the male and the female within, so you don't become dependent on the male or the female in your life. You marry the two parts within yourself. So what does that mean, to marry the two parts within yourself? That means to have a perfect masculine and feminine within yourself. And once you have
Mm,
that, you're no longer depending on anyone or anything. You and the source are the ones who creating. This is why you have the gurus. Most of the time, they are by themselves. They do not have wives. Is because they have achieved that. Females can do the same if they choose to. So this is why you see this happening. This is why the gurus are by themselves, is because they have this. It's easier to do transformation when you're by yourself than you are in a relationship, because at a certain level, you come to a certain level of transformation, it becomes, you just take off because you have cleared the major five energy bodies: the etheric, the physical, the emotional, the mental, the astral. And once you start to get into the causal, the time and space just goes so rapidly. And if we can get to that level, and this is where we're going in evolution wise, and I believe in the next 50 to 100 years, we're definitely going to see that propel so faster, so much faster. But before that, we have a lot of roller coasters.
and yeah, the understatement of the century.
Exactly.
So let's circle back to your original story. And thank you
Dark
so
room.
much for sharing all of those wisdom. I feel like people are taking copious amounts of notes, and thank goodness you can replay this as many times as you like. Um, can we touch base on what you feel like? Because you did the dark room, this is the fourth time. And we recognize in what you were sharing that patterns can be repeated, cords can be reattached through our thinking, through our feeling bodies, etc. What was the big takeaway this time? I know you were doing that lineage healing, but what was this your original intention? And is there more needed on your behalf to do this again? And what advice do you have for people who want to go try this? I know you said you should be an avid meditator at this point, but how do we get there?
Discipline is a very important part. How many of you have a time that you spend for yourself? I understand we have kids, we have work, but how much time do you spend for yourself every day? Meaning, when you get up and you have a daily practice, that you do some stretches, some breath work, meditation. This is very important. The key is to have that for yourself first. Don't care what's happening at home with your kids, this and that. If you don't have the time for yourself, you're not balanced enough to take care of your kids, even. Because if you're not balanced, then that's what you're going to project out to them. But if you show that you are balanced within yourself, that's what your kids are going to start doing. And that's what the surroundings around you will start acting as well in a disciplined way towards you emotionally, because you decided to honor this vehicle. That's one. The second part, in the dark room, we will have lots of stuff that will come up emotionally, mentally, and breath is very important. But in the dark room, you are coming into the darkness to the Divine Mother. And in Divine Mother, we have to learn how to surrender.
Mm,
She is the nurturing aspect. From the darkness came light. So in that darkness, the Divine Mother will help you and assist you and guide you to have an effortless release. So you want to try to learn how to surrender, to let go of the dark into darkness. And that is one of the key things. That was my thing, was to go there, is to surrender, to let go. And as you sit in the darkness, your mind will start to act up. Emotions will start to act up. And you're like, no, 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 no. I'm just going to surrender to this darkness. It's like, Mother, Father, God, do your work. Because Mother, Father, God loves you unconditionally. The thing is, do you love yourself like that? And that's where we need to learn how to surrender. And the more you surrender, the more become softer and more gentle, the more the nervous system relaxes, the more the DNA within the body starts to let go. Because what's preventing it is the resistance in the mind, because we're taught to do things all the time. And we think, I have to do this. But in the darkness, you want to learn how to surrender to the nurturing and love of the Divine Mother, because she does the work. It is not you who does the work. You are just allowing yourself to be in the space of her nurturing love.
Wow. That's amazing.
That was one of the
Igor,
main
thank you
things.
so much for sharing.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. You got cut off.
that was one of the main things I believe in the dark room, that people are going with that intention, and looking somehow in the near future, maybe creating a dark room experience for people where they can come in and have a full kind of support and not be afraid to experience a dark room. So hopefully, maybe in the next year or so, that will be available.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Sign me up already. Is there like a pre-list? Is there a volunteer
I'm,
list?
I'm,
I'm
I'm,
there.
I'm in the process of creating one right now. So
Nice. Nice. My name's going on that list.
it's
Igor, let
already there.
everybody know where they can get a hold of you. Yeah. Let everybody
Igor
know where they can
Galbov,
get a hold of you.
igorgalbov.com or alignmentoflight.com. Instagram, same name. Facebook and TikTok. There is a lot of information that's being posted on Instagram and TikTok on daily basis that will assist you to have a more effortless transformation. Time to time, I come out. I do also energy updates of letting people know what's currently happening energetically, where it will allow them to have more relaxed state. And I do have free meditations every Tuesday on Zoom, 9:30 Eastern. So it's free meditations. Feel free to join in. We all go through all kinds of information, downloads, and awakening and processes. But what's really happening? How do you know what's happening to you? And during the Tuesday meditations, I will assist you and channel any information that is needed for you during that time and moment, in order for you to have an open space, an open heart, and a clear mind.
Mm. Thank you for being of service to the world, friend. I love you so much, man. I'm so happy you came on. I'm going to pop you in the green room for a second because, as of energy updates, we're going to do that right now with the
Wonderful, love it.
midweek collective energy. And usually this kind of, blends into the story of the week. So, yeah, let's jump into that and see what's in store for all of us. Okay, we are here. I don't know if my screen played. Maybe it didn't play. Who knows? All right, we're gonna jump in right here to the midweek collective energy check-in. This little tapestry brought to you by Romania, and my little souvenir. Okay, we're jumping into the first card here. Okay, we're jumping into the Seven of Abundance. Seven of Abundance says, "Have patience. Sometimes dreams grow slowly, so don't worry. The hard work you've invested will bring about a bountiful harvest. This is a good time to prepare because things will soon move forward very quickly, and use this time to rest and plan." I love that. I'm feeling that. How about you guys? Our next card is the Three of Thought. Loving angels surround you to heal and comfort you. The sadness you're feeling will fade away in time, and then you'll be able to see clearly how important the situation has been for your spiritual growth. Take this time that you need to forgive yourself and others so that you can embrace the future with joy. All right, totem animal for the midweek is the crab, which makes perfect sense because I've had some people have crab as their totem animal in their readings this week, and here we are again. And I also had crab today. Shout out to crab medicine. Crab is show your emotions and regenerate love. And I do want to say one thing about the crab totem animal as a medicine. Crabs walk sideways. So this is kind of like if you see conflict coming to you, Don't head towards it, sidestep it. This is not a time to be argumentative, is what the crab totem brings forward. And finally, as our outcome, feel joy in all you do. This is very imperative. Our joy energies is possibly one of the highest energies that we can achieve. And if we can't find that joy, start with appreciation. Then we can build up to gratitude, and then finally joy. So ensure that you're looking for the positive side of life in this moment, because there's always a blessing. There's always something to be grateful for. There's always some type of beauty. And when you start to see the world in beauty, even you become more beautiful. I hope this serves you. And let's see what Igor has to say about this midweek collective energy check-in. Sir, thoughts?
I'm speechless. I love everything that you said there, and the cards came out to be right on point.
Wonderful. I love it. And it was pretty much in alignment with what you were saying too. So I'm like, oh, of course, great things are coming. And that's all we can ask for. Igor, thank you so much for being here. I love you so much. We'll catch up soon. I'm going to close out this episode with my final thoughts. So make sure you stay tuned, because I'm going to give it to you with Con Mucho Amor. Do you or someone you know experience something supernatural that has left a positive impact on yourself or the lives of others? Want to share your story on our show? Please email Divine Encounters at e360tv.com, and together, let's create divine experiences. And now, the Oracle's final thoughts con mucho amor. Wow, what a story. Igor always brings so much energy into this feed, and it's amazing, astounding, astonishing, and I can just keep going on synonyms and synonyms and synonyms. However, food for thought. Are you loving yourself to the best of your capacity? Have you harmonized, made peace with, forgiven any mother or father wounds that you've been carrying? Maybe they're not even your own wounds. Maybe they're patterns from ghosts long past. And it's up to you to break through those generational curses and create new patterns to heal those who are coming or aren't even here yet, those who have no name and those whose name haven't lost to history. How beautiful it is that we have so much choice, freedom, and capacity. This is the age now that we're stronger than we've ever been, capable than we've ever been, and we can choose to be who we want to become. I hope you go forward and encounter more. I dare you. And above all else, may you all go in love, light, and wisdom to know thyself, love thyself, and remember the divine always has your back. Ciao!
Everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels slow motion, just hold on. Just hold on.